Today we're talking about unlocking primal strength. We're going to dive into a secret movement practice that some of the world's strongest athletes are using to get even stronger and, maybe more importantly, prevent those career-ending injuries.
So what is the secret to that kind of superhuman strength? You know, the kind that lets people lift cars and toss logs around? We're all looking for that hidden edge, that one technique that changes the game.
Now, conventional wisdom says it's pretty simple. Just keep piling more plates on the bar. Train harder, lift heavier, push through it. But what if that's only half the story? And what if that approach has, like, a built-in breaking point?
All right, to really get this, let's look at the story of someone who lived that heavier is better philosophy and slammed right into that breaking point.
So this is Damian Wallace, and he might not be what you picture when you think of a strongman. He's 5'8", 180 pounds, but an absolute powerhouse. We're talking a two-time Canadian champion, a guy who's competed at Worlds 5 times. And his training philosophy was simple and brutal. Lift as much as you can, as heavy as you can. And for a while, it worked like a charm.
The year 2015. Man, that was his peak. Wallace had just placed 4th at the Arnold Strongman World Championships, which is a huge deal. He was at the absolute top of his game. But it was also the year that everything changed.
And boom, a devastating knee injury, a partial tear in his patellar tendon, just completely sidelined him. Gone, out of competition for over a year. He just knew, that going back to what he was doing before just wasn't an option. His body had sent him a very clear, very painful message. The old way was broken.
So during his recovery, his coach introduced him to this completely new type of movement. And Dane's reaction? Pure, unfiltered frustration. He was trying this one move, a static crab, and he literally screamed, "The human body doesn't work that way!" His powerful, strongman-trained body was so locked down, so stiff, that he couldn't even lift a single hand off the ground.
So what was this bizarre, impossible movement that a world-class athlete couldn't do? Well, it was part of a system called Animal Flow.
Animal Flow is basically a bodyweight program created by this guy, Mike Fitch. It's all about moving on the ground, on all fours, like an animal. The whole idea is to tap back into these primal movement patterns to rebuild your strength, your stability, and your mobility right from the ground up. No equipment needed.
And it's a whole system broken down into 5 parts. You start with mobilizing your wrists, super important. Then you move into these static holds called activations to kind of wake the body up. After that, you've got deep, dynamic stretches. Then comes the really fun stuff, traveling forms, where you're actually mimicking animal movements. And finally, you link it all together in these really cool fluid sequences they call flows.
But why is this stuff so effective, especially for someone who's already incredibly strong? Well, to understand that, we have to talk about the hidden dangers of stiffness that plague so many of us.
Okay, so this right here is absolutely crucial. We have to understand the difference between mobility and flexibility. They are not the same thing. Flexibility is just about how far a muscle can stretch, right? But mobility is your joint's ability to actively move through its entire range of motion. You can be super flexible, but have terrible mobility, and that is where the problems really start.
And check this out. This slide shows exactly why this matters so much. A 2015 study looked at people with that nagging low back pain, and they found a common problem, a major lack of hip mobility. Think about it. When your hips can't move properly, your lower back is forced to compensate, to bend and arch in ways it wasn't designed for, and that leads directly to pain and injury.
This is exactly what Dane Wallace discovered. By focusing on his mobility, he didn't just heal. He unlocked a whole new level of strength that was built on 3 key pillars. So first, it massively improved his range of motion, especially in his hips and upper back. Second, it gave him what we call load variability. Lifting is very linear. It's up and down. Animal Flow gets the body moving in all these different directions, which keeps the joints happy. And third, it built incredible sterility and proprioception, which is just a fancy word for your brain's awareness of where your body is in space. And you can bet that's critical when you're trying to control hundreds of pounds over your head.
As Dane himself puts it, strength and stability are really just 2 sides of the same coin. You simply cannot be truly strong if you aren't stable. It takes an incredible mind-muscle connection to control that kind of weight, and that's exactly what this practice builds.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually start doing this stuff? Well, it's probably more intuitive than you think.
I love this quote because it puts everything into perspective. A lot of these positions, they're things we all did naturally as babies.
They're fundamental human movements. We've just kind of forgotten them after years and years of sitting in chairs. So this isn't about learning something totally new. It's about relearning what our bodies already know.
So if you want to give it a shot, Dane recommends focusing on 5 key moves to start, including that static crab that gave him so much trouble, and others like loaded beast and crab reach. Each one is designed to open up those key areas, the hips, the shoulders, the spine, all the things that are essential for strength and for just staying healthy.
Let's just break down the crab reach. You start in a simple crab position, hands and feet on the floor. Then you drive your hips straight up to the ceiling, squeezing your glutes and keeping your core tight. Then you reach one arm up and over your body, opening up your entire side. It's this incredible move that combines mobility, stability, and strength all at once.
And the payoff for Dane? What was unbelievable. 2 years after an injury that could have easily ended his career, he returned to the world stage. And he didn't just compete, he placed 3rd in the world. He was stronger and more resilient than ever before, all because he rebuilt his body from the ground up.
So, the takeaway is this. Brute strength, it has a ceiling. But strength combined with fluid, masterful movement, that's limitless. Our modern lives have kind of made us stiff and disconnected from what our bodies can do naturally. The real question is, are you ready to start listening to what your body was actually designed to do?